Paul, thanks for your time. We'll start with injury situation. Any new concerns for you?
No, nothing new. Sean Scannell's got an illness. In probably reality wouldn't have come into consideration as such, but we've just missed him in terms of a couple of days training. But as we were for the last game.
So Sean Scannell's been back in training with you?
He has been prior to that, yes. He's done a couple of sessions. As I said, unfortunately, just when getting him going, he's got a bit of an illness, not COVID, but he's missed the last couple of days training.
And any news for Ryan Taylor at all?
No, but I'm pretty certain we'll be all right. You know, there's a plan in place. We are going into details. I think we're all good.
Okay, I won't go into details. Joel Grant, any updates on him at all?
Yeah, Joel's returned from St George's Park. He's now back with us. I think we're still looking some time away, so without forgetting about him, I think there's an element of kind of asking the question. It will be a few weeks minimum until we can talk about him even sort of getting close to a return to training, and then because of the amount of time he's now had out, unfortunately, that'll take a little while to get back up to speed and into consideration.
You mentioned on Saturday Lenny perhaps won't be ready to start for you just yet. With Ryan's situation, without wanting to give too much away, is it maybe something you have to consider out?
Not really. If I'm honest, I think we'd have to go a different way, which clearly we did during pre-season, being without them both for so long. But I'm, certainly hopeful that we won't have to go down that route. But if we do, then I think we learnt enough pre-season, and even today we've done some 11v11 work with a couple of different sort of formations thrown in. There's a physical aspect to the session, but also having a look at one or two things. So that certainly one way we played was without either of them in the team.
3 weeks obviously for you after all the efforts put in last week. Does that come as a bit of a relief for you?
A little bit. I think it was kind of needed, albeit if we'd had to go again, then we would have. You can always find something in the tank, or often, albeit he's been better from the point of view of recovery. Changed his week up a little bit, hence the reason why we're doing the press today. But the players have had 2 odd days graft, because it's probably the last chance we get for a little while in terms of a run of games now, Saturday, Tuesday and again. And we still want them to work hard. With the fitness levels have been pretty good. Fits into what we probably thought when I've looked back, 6 games, just a little marker, just to have a little review of performances and again some data. And it fits as from the point of view as going into that Weymouth game, probably not where we quite want it to be. And gradually it's improved. We still think there's a bit more to come, but they are reaching some good levels, as I think mentioned, certainly after the Wrexham game. And that, it's not simply about that, and I've said to the players, it's certainly not an exact science, but we've found correlations between hard work, distance covered, etc. in the past, and it certainly makes you hard to beat more often than not. Still need quality in the team, still need to take chances, keep it out the other end, of course. But I'm pleased with where the players are at, and like I said, I still think there's a bit more to come.
Obviously Maidenhead this week, they started the season off quite well and then had 4 defeats since then, albeit against some of the league's top sides. What have you made of them so far?
I think at Notts County they were unlucky. First half in particular, they had a real disciplined performance and won the ball back and created issues for Notts County. Second half, I think Notts County played better, made it a bit more difficult, but the early goal changed the dynamic slightly as well, that ultimately won the game. But overall, I think, as you said, they've had some tough games, so that's not the be all and end all. Torquay you were kind of blown away in half, and then almost blew Torquay away and made a real fist of that game, where on another day they could have certainly got something from the game, having been 4-0 down. And performances, I would say, have been different in a lot of the games that I've watched. They played different ways, they've changed formation at times, so it's perhaps not the easiest game to say pretty convinced they'll go a certain system and formation, but that's probably the same goes for us to a degree as well. But we've certainly, as always, watched them, and they're certainly a big side. I think set plays, they're a threat, a big physical side. I think I've never been to Maidenhead previous, but speaking to a manager that has more recently, spoke about a slope on the pitch. So again, that's something just to be wary of. And I think they were down the slope the second half against Torquay when, like I said, they made life extremely difficult for them.